Just a quick intro here, guys. I wanted to bring up that the audio and the video are a bit funky for this video. There's a reason I don't use my phone to record anymore. You'll see later especially that the focus kind of constantly flickers and it's a nightmare. Plus the audio is just a bit rough. Hope that really doesn't detract too much from Zach's amazing list though, and I hope you enjoy the breakdown. Thank you.
So you came second place, Zach.
Yeah, man. Placed second place with what I think is the best deck, Purple Hybrid. Starting off with the eggs, I have got 4 Demi Mirror, 1 Cupimon. Going up to the level 3s, I've got 3 Ignite as part of the Merva package, 3 Gazi, 1 Uko, the 0-drop Uko, and then I got 4 of the 1-drop Uko.
Nice, a little bit standard. I like that.
A little bit standard. And then for the level 4s, we've got 4 of the Kaiser Leomons. It's really handy because of the Retaliate. Really good at clearing out Ukos.
I was gonna say that was a crazy one for me because I was like, 4? Considering like every list I've seen is like 2 or 1 at most.
Man, and yeah, I prefer that one over the old Kaiser Leo, which you'll notice because everything else is pretty standard. 4 Loe, 4 Velgra, 4 Dusks, and none of the old Kaiser Leo.
I think that's fair.
Just
I mean,
a choice of mine.
if you're not playing the Luger build, right? Like whatever.
Yeah, and really good with Merva.
Yeah.
Jumping off, we do have only 2 Rihi.
Nuts to me, but based. I guess like your entire point is not to actually digivolve into 6s.
If you're familiar with the deck, like the deck is constantly, as soon as you see it once, you can see it 3 times. So there was a couple of games where I saw it once, I may have played it and digivolved it a couple of times, but I only need to see one of them. And for my last level 5, only 3 level 5s, and my last one is Argomon. This guy here really good in the matchup just because you can suspend your opponent's tamers and they don't unsuspend. So if you might have checked 1,000 tamers in their security, end your turn with this and you're looking like you're gonna win anyways.
It's like my experience with it being that against red hybrid is really funny too, because like you suspend all my tamers down and then I have to like commit an ancient gray to it just to get rid of it, you know, so that I can go back to swinging and security.
Yeah, for sure.
But like every other hybrid deck has to deal with the same problem.
And that, it buys you a turn, pretty much
Yeah.
what Venus might do. Which, bringing me to the level 6s, you might notice there are no Venuses. This is all that I play. So it's 2 Merva, 1 Anubis. The Merva gives you 3 free swings once you go late game with Jack Raid. And the Anubis is there just to be Anubis, man. This card is just amazing.
We're gonna have to go to Anubis Anonymous for that one soon. That shit's crazy.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Goes in any purple deck
If I
these
could
days.
play more, I played more, but there's a good reason why you can't. And 1 level 7, Death X, still pretty good.
Is the source.
It did win me one game against Fenluga. Really handy,
true.
in that matchup. And then jumping up to the Tamers, we've got 4 Koichi of the old one. We get 2 Mat. This one is the BT2 Mat. Just add anything from your trash.
Do you feel like he came out often? He found, like for me personally, I found like he was the worst of the bunch.
This guy I found was pretty good, but probably in an unconventional way. Perhaps you could do, if you've got another Koichi and a Mat, either that Koichi or run 4 copies of the other Koichi.
Yep.
If you go onto this guy, you can digivolve for a reduced cost of 1 on top of the Mat. So essentially, you don't actually have to digivolve him into Velcro. You could digivolve the Mat into either your Loe for 2 or another Dusk one for 2.
Yeah, true.
Really handy.
Yeah, like when you were playing against the Great Angels player and you were like Loey swing and then you digivolved the Dusk with its effect over a different tamer, I was like, oh my fucking god, he's a genius. But
This
like,
guy,
I just don't do that. I just don't have to think about that shit.
This guy, I think I only got aced twice during the whole day, just because most of the time it was a color that I couldn't ace on, so it was pretty.
It's very nice to not have to deal with aces
Very nice.
in the first place.
Yeah, so matchups, it's fantastic. And then the last 6 cards is I run 4 copies of Jack Raid. This card, man,
He's close to getting it limited to 1.
I would love to say this card is fair, but it's not. This card, it probably should be at 1 Camera Spark, but I'm a perfect player, so I love it.
It's also so funny too that you're like, hey, I'm just gonna do this and gain 1, and then the Great Angels player in particular, you were like, I gain 1, and then a few seconds later you were like, I'm gonna gain 1, and then I'm gonna gain 1.
Yeah, it came up a couple of times during the day as well. A really great synergy with Jack Raid is perhaps maybe if you've got 20 cards in trash, pretty easy with the deck. All you really need in order to do Mervamon shenanigans, you can really hide the ball, because as long as you're doing Koichi going onto these guys, as long as they die, you gain 1 memory. So your hybrids only cost 1.
That's the craziest shit about it.
And then you fill up your trash because you're Velgra. 20 cards in here. A Jack Raid gives you 2. If you've got several copies of them, all it is 7 memory, and then you get Merva with 3 swings by bringing back a Kaiser Leo or an Ignite.
Yeah, +2, like, just hitting in Jack Raid and security makes me want to shoot yourself.
Oh,
or your opponent wants to shoot themselves.
And I won a couple of games I probably shouldn't have. Jack Raid and security.
Exactly.
And
last card?
For the final 2 cards, it's Rivals Barrage.
Nice.
This card here, I probably would love to find the space for a 3rd one, but the deck is pretty tight at the moment. Rivals Barrage, I love seeing in security. It's even better if I mill it in my deck. If I see it in my hand, not the best, but that's my deck. That's my 2nd place purple hybrid format. Or regionals, yeah.
Yeah, because I realized afterwards we forgot to say it.
It's been a long day.
It'll be the thumbnail. It'll be the title. Whatever.
I know.
It's been a long fucking day.
If I can jump in and ask something.
No.
What's the most number of Jack Raids you activated in a turn?
How many Jack Raids do I play?
Yeah.
Oh, no, did you activate 5? That's
Nah.
You can.
I watched him do the full 4 1 by 1 slowly till you check the trash every single time, and I was like, "Come on, dog, give him a break."
Yeah, that one was me. That was second last round, and I'll be honest. I was trying to figure out if I could get away with just using 3, but several games I was able to use 4 Jack Raids in 1 turn, and sometimes 5 in a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What matchups did you run?
So my
Run the pockets of.
My first round, almost like a prophecy, I just took out Psychmon out of this deck, and my first matchup I versed was Belfamon. It was actually a really tough matchup for the deck. It ran purple base, purple hybrid base, and it had Belfamon top end. I was able to kind of cinch out a win with Merva. That matchup, he let me play for a long time. And so we ended up getting to the stage where a Jack Raid was worth 3. And
Damn.
So when you've got Matt on the field and then 2 Jack Raid, you go up to 9. That's a Mervamon with a bit of change. So still room to also do the hybrid shenanigans. I think I was able to put about 5 attacks on board. He didn't negate 3 of them, but I was able to push the game through that. The next matchup was Magna, which the Magna matchup was pretty intense. Like the first game went for the majority of it. I ended up getting about 30 cards in trash, and then I got hit with the ace that shuffled my entire trash to the bottom of my deck. But with the way that I was playing, usually I found that I didn't need to use my Ukamon, so they were staying in my hand. So I was actually able to push past it and just Ukamon rush him after he'd knocked out my whole trash.
That's actually hilarious.
And able to play again. And then second game, I believe he bricked something fierce, and it was,
Unfortunate one.
Yeah, just an unfortunate one. This deck plays so quickly. A lot of games, if they don't last like 5 to 6 minutes, I don't even worry about Merva or Anubis.
Yeah.
And very rarely a Rehi. It's just pretty much the rest of my deck just powering through.
You are essentially like rookie rushing for the most part. You're just
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm able to like giga push out Ukos, and then like you know, facilitate the Gazis getting out there as well. And if your opponent is ever like, I'm gonna delete that, it's like, cool, I'll draw trash, or cool, I'll trash one and gain a memory.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I found in those matchups especially, just because the Demi Mirror, I preferred the draws just to keep drawing more pieces rather than the Cupimon, hence why I've gone for that matchup. After that one, I went Red Hybrid. Red Hybrid was coin toss. It really could have gone either way. Yeah, he was my opponent. We went all the way to game 3. I believe I won game 1. He smashed me game 2, and then game 3 was pretty much down to a Jack Ray checkman security.
Yeah.
And that pushed over turn, letting me really get the upper edge, because yeah, the amount of recursion, especially with Koichi, just with its when attacking, just add a hybrid from your trash to your hand, just means that when you set up, you never run out of pieces.
Pretty much. It's also interesting too, because like if you give your opponent 2 memory like on Ancient Grey and expect to be able to like pull the turn back to like just continue playing, and then they're like, you hit Jack Ray and that they go to 4 and you're like, my bad dog, I didn't know you were chill like that.
Yeah, and it's just easy to play off those ridiculous high memory turns without your opponent even giving you much memory.
Yeah.
It's just insanity. Perhaps Jack Ray's not quite fair.
It's crazy card.
Way.
Who'd have thought?
Yeah, and the next one I had was another Magna matchup. That one there, I do remember it being, it was got a bit tough because he was actually using Flamemon very successfully against me. When a target is switched, Flamedramon.
Yeah, Flamedramon.
Oh, Flamedramon. I was like, oh my god, bro's playing red hybrid base.
No, yeah, Flamedramon. That's
Yeah.
it. And he just made me keep adding my security to hand with its effect, which was super strong. But the downside that it eventually came to was that I didn't have any I had very little security, he had no security, so it was very difficult for him to kind of make Magna impervious still, so I was able to kind of keep pushing through. Another matchup where he was running the level 7 ace, the imp ace, that returned all my trash to my deck. I was a bit smart at that time and used my Jack Rays first before he did it. So just a lot of memory, push through, murder really helped in that matchup.
Yeah, for sure.
The next matchup was really interesting. It was the 7 Great Angels.
3 Great
Great
Angels,
Angels,
yeah.
7 Great Angels, yeah. And it was super interesting. I won game 1 quite convincingly just because the amount of push, if you swing hard enough, it means that their Patamon, when it raises up and they search their security to digivolve to it, if you knock out a couple of their security early, Patamon's really not.
Yeah, unless if they've set something up.
Yeah, and I was able just to swing faster than they were able to set up. Second game wasn't even close. I got absolutely blown out by that player.
I got to watch that one.
Yeah, it was impressive to watch.
Because they actually got to set up, and you were just like, oh, I can't walk past, like I can't kill any of these anymore. Domini is just a brick wall.
Yeah, Domini, non-once per turn protection, very crazy.
Such a strong deck.
Domini also has like really positive interaction against Velga because it only has to trash 1 security to protect everything you control from Velgamon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and definitely, it was a rough game, that one, but I was able to hop back into the next game and really was able to do a really janky play with the Lowy, bit like I was talking about before, digivolving on the Koichi, swing with the Lowy, using its when attacking to digivolve one of my other tamers into a hybrid from the trash. The one that I used was the Dusk. And by doing that, I was actually able to turn off their aces, because the Duskmon, when it comes out, changes their Digimon to a color they can't ace on top of. And by doing that, I was able to get past, I believe it was a level 5 ace play, and swing for 2 checks pretty much quickly, and I was lucky enough that the Queech actually died, and then I
Gained your
was able
memory.
to gain memory, and then I had enough memory to swing for game.
Yeah.
The other thing that stood out to me from that play was that, as well as denying the ace, you also stopped their follow-up because they couldn't digivolve over that on their turn. And they had nothing
even
to
if it
raise
didn't
it.
die.
That is true. They were quite overextended at that stage. So
I think you killed that Digimon though, but
He did kill it because he gained the memory back, but it was
I
because
ended up killing it with the dusk. With
Yeah.
the
True,
dust
true.
into the follower. Like,
Yeah.
Classic play.
but yeah, just because of how that works, it doesn't matter if it died or not because there still wouldn't have been a crackback from it.
yeah.
But no, and the final was very subpar. It was very anticlimactic. I bricked. I bricked both the starting hand and the mulligan for the two games that we suffered through it. The opponent played it really well, and they demolished me quite quickly. But I probably didn't really put up any fight at all. It was against Magnum. It was versus Mirage, sorry. And anyway, and everyone kind of knows how good that deck is, so they were able to dispose of me quite quickly.
Yep.
But no, that was my second place deck list for Melbourne Regionals.
Sweet. Thanks for showing me your deck. It's fucking sick. I just don't know how to get Merva to work for me, but I know that any like purple hybrid deck I play in the future is gonna have 4 Jack raids.
Oh, it is best card. Bandai, don't hit it, but please do.
Crazy person's card. But sick.
I love Hammer Spark for 3.
Fuck yeah, Zach. Bye.